Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and we're back for part 2 of the Mutant Shelter. I'm looking for a brush that I dropped. There it is. I need something a little bigger for this. That's probably too big. Let me try again. There we go. This will do it. So, I've been painting all this terrain in kind of the same theme. I've been using a bronze, like a chocolate brown, it's called metallic chocolate brown, and a red and a gray, and I'm going to kind of stick with that. I'm using my dirty paint water. That's probably the oldest paint water I've ever had still, and I want to just kind of metallic this up. I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into it, but I want to make sure it's coated nicely. And I want to hit everything that's sticking up for sure. Hit the back of that door a little bit. A little bit more water. Okay. Hit my inside walls. Get some metallic on there. Okay. We want to make sure we get that roof. Metallic that up too. Now you'll see some spots like here. I burnt, after I painted it, I burnt some holes in that corrugation to make it look rusted out and ruined. So I'll have to come back and get in there with something dark to fill that in. And I think I'll just do that with a black wash at the end in spots that really need it. Okay, as it stands right now, this you could pretty much call that fine and be done. I'm not going to, but you could. Now I'm going to get this reddish brown. I'm going to put some here. I'm going to get some more water on my brush. And I'm going to create some different looks in some spots, just because that's how I like it to look. I've been using this theme with all my nigh, which is what I'm calling this version of Tomorrow Comes Doom. I'm calling it nigh because like the end is nigh, like the world's giving up on us. Then I'm going to get this gray. I'll get a little bit of that there. I'm going to get a little bit more of that metallic brown because I'm kind of out of that on my palette here. I'm going to get my brush wet. I'm going to create an ugly color that no one likes. And once I get that, I'm going to kind of get around and grit this up a little bit and do some grossness here and there. Like that. Okay, I'm done with that brush for now. Maybe forever. I'm going to set that cardboard off to the side. It's still usable for another project when it dries. I'm going to hit this with some hot air. This doesn't have to be completely dry, but drier helps. I'm going to get a piece of rag off the floor here and just suck up some of that extra moisture inside that didn't dry the way I wanted it to and leave it go. All right, now I want this to have some different colors because it's just different plate and stuff that's been laying around. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cardboard back and I'm going to put my other paints away. And I'm going to get some different colors to do some of the plate work in. You don't even really need anything too fancy to do this. Any cheapy brush will work. I'm just going to grab something. Now, if you see that this fits on this way, the smart play would be to do like to make it not look so like this is definitely a separate construct. If you can find a way to kind of, oops, set that where it's going to sit, and then paint some of the stuff on the bottom layer similar, that might help our cause. So all I've done there is taken those where it kind of lines up. I don't want to use too much of the same color over and over again, so I'm going to sparingly come around and hit some of this. I'm not using as much detail as I do on the monsters and stuff because we don't want this to take all day. We just want this to have some color, that's all. Well, let's see if there's a piece that kind of lines up there that we can use some of that green on. Make it look a little congruous. We'll just keep doing that with some different colors. We don't want to go overboard here. See if there's a color somewhere else that we can kind of make work too on the top and bottom. Yeah, we could do this. Okay. And we'll get red and then we'll kind of be done. Red's my favorite color. So I like to use red in as many projects as I can. And I'm just going to use red in some other spots too, just to add more life to this base. The reason I'm using it with different intensities and in different ways is because I want this to look cool. Notice I didn't do any like rivets or anything on this. I didn't want it to look like it had been built. I wanted it to look like it's just kind of laying here. That's what I want. All right, something like that. Now I need a metallic. I'm gonna rinse my brush out quickly. Now I do have every intention of coming back and doing some silver dry brush on this, or maybe a copper and then a silver, something like that maybe. But I'm trying to hit the areas that I know I want to look more silver first, so it's pretty definite. See, that's going to stick out pretty well, I'm guessing. If I were to make an edumacated, yes. I don't care about perfection, obviously. And you could, again, quit right there and it would look all right, right? Yeah, it would. It would be fine. All right, so let's get another piece of cardboard real quick. The one that has more dry space on it. Let's get a little bit of silver on here. Wait, let's wait for the silver. I'm gonna get a copper color. I'm gonna get a medium brush. I'm gonna do some of the corrugated spots with that, just to make those differentiated and stand out a little bit more. I didn't do a whole lot of the corrugation, so it'll be all right. Okay. We want a bigger kind of makeup brush, kind of dry brush situation here. Come on. Something like that. All right, sweet. There's a ton more details you could add here. Do you need them? I don't know. Maybe. But I do know that as it stands right now, well, my door is not shutting. What have I done? Just bend it a little bit. Bend it a little bit. And force it to shut. Come on, you. There we go. Lines up, and we got a nice little, and it's playable. See that? It's playable. We got a nice little mutant bunker. That seems like a good enough name than anything else. From a distance, you would probably not identify this immediately on the table, especially if you had it facing in such a way that it wasn't, the door wasn't noticeable. That's like going to be one of the, that door is the part that really gives it away. Let me see if I can snip that door up some, make it work, or bend it maybe in some fashion. Let's see. Let's make it work. There we go. That bend will give it some strength, and it'll help it stay shut. Over time, that'll kind of dry and solidify that way. All right, so we have the holes there. Let's get this. A little bit of black paint. Let's try that Dollar Tree black paint. Some water. Get it down in there. Fill that hole up. There's one back there. Get that filled up too. And we'll just smear it around in some spots to make everything mucky and gross. Especially in the areas where you didn't paint real well, or you see some stuff you don't like. Just muck it up. Let me get more water. Having a little bit of metallic, or using a metallic black. I have a little bit of metallic still here in this. It's going to give it a little bit of a sheen. Nothing spectacular, but something. Anything where you have slimy spots where super glue is sticking out, that'd be a good place to do this too. Not super glue, I'm sorry, hot glue. Something like that. And you could really make, you could put as much effort into this as you wanted. I'm going to get down inside the room here where the walls come together. I'm going to muck that up because it's kind of dark. Something like that. Because there's just grease and oil everywhere in this world, unfortunately. I might come back here, get my lid back on. I'm going to do around the outside a little bit with that same muck, just to show that it pulls up on the ground and around corners and where things meet up. If you have any kind of brush lines you don't like, this would be a good time to hide those with your mucky muck. Something like that. All right, so that's got to be, you know, a pretty quick paint job for how long it took us to make this, but it looks okay, and it's definitely going to do what we want it to do. And I don't really want to, like, you know, keep messing with it and go too far and ruin it. So something like this could work nice. Thanks for watching, though. Seriously, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all this stuff that pleases the algorithm most. I would really appreciate that. Let's help the channel grow. Check out the description below. You'll find a link to dungeonswag.com, the greatest miniature company in the world, in my opinion. Every month you get a beautiful, high-detailed, high-quality, sturdy resin print set of miniatures to your house. They're beautiful. I just made a video yesterday about our Sharkmen that came out last month. I got boxes here to review still. Check out the website. There's also a discount code down there for 25% off your first month of Dungeon Swag. And I heard rumors that if you joined our Discord, which is linked down there, that you can somehow get a free miniature. So check that out too. See if you can get a free miniature if you've never bought one from us before and you just want to get an idea what our quality is before you can invest $15 a month or whatever for a box of minis. Just make sure you're in that same spot where we are. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.